Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we are currently working on bringing our prosperity up a little bit, and our prestige, and our culture a little bit too, and our prestige quite a lot. Our prestige is an area where we need a lot of stuff brought in. Now, one question I have is, do we have anywhere to export armor and weapons to? Fruit, huh? And pulp. That's interesting. We could do a timber export, I suppose. I'm just looking for ways to make a little bit more money, and yeah, we could definitely do that. So that would mean like a trading post right up over here, and that would be trading with someone. So fruit and chili I'd rather not export. We could definitely do an export of timber, and no, that's an import. Okay. We could export some pottery, theoretically. How much do Chalco actually import for pottery? 120. You know what? Let's do it. So that seems reasonably fine. We can certainly get a couple more kilns online to help feed that. That would be okay. So out over this direction, we've got clay coming in over here, but we're not currently getting... We're getting pottery here. I'd want to accept pottery. So let's switch this over to accepting pottery. And then let's put in a couple of kilns. One here. One here. And then I'm thinking like one here doesn't actually fit. As in, it doesn't reach this border yard. Okay, it might reach this border yard. Maybe. Another thing we could do is put them up here. So I'm just basically doubling our pottery production. So I think that 4 total kilns would be absolutely fine. Let's get that in. That will, of course, get us some jobs, which is good. We need jobs. So let's get those kilns online. That seems great. And then we're going to just start exporting some pottery right here. Perfect. We do, of course, need to get more pottery in, but that's fine for the moment. So everything looks good there for now. We're short of common workers, we're short of elite workers, and unemployment is becoming a problem. What? I don't think that's true. I'm getting contradicting statements here. Let's put a noble compound here, but we're in range of this basin, yes? Cool. So we'll get that put in. And we are actually short of our noble jobs, so that seems okay. But we have 683 adult commoners and 571 jobs available. We don't need more commoners at this point. So that's absolutely wonderful. And I'm noting our axe monies are quite positive at this point, and I don't think we've even headed off yet. No, we have not. So that's understood. We're going to have these guys head on off. Don't deliver timber here. No, don't do that. Okay. So as of right now, our finances are good. We have 38 adult nobles and 35 adult nobles and 28 positions available as of right now. So that's fine. We have plenty of people. We need more jobs. So what jobs are we interested in doing? Well, I wouldn't mind a stone export. Does anyone import stone other than the capital? No. So this would have to go to the capital, which is certainly not ideal. I do think some chinampas out over this way would not go amiss, because I wouldn't mind clearing some of that out so that we can build out here. But for the time being, this seems fine. We're making a decent amount of money at this point. Checking in on our maize situation, we're net positive on the maize right now, and I expect that to remain the case. Our prosperity is at 62 out of 70 right now. Noted. So we can start checking through some of these houses. Education. Are you not reached by this? Oh, 1 tile away. What can we do about that? We don't have a lot of room right now. What if we move this alcove here And then build some education right here. That might reach. It does. Okay, cool. So we'll get that going, and I wouldn't mind having these be upgraded to stone road down here. So just down to like there. We can upgrade all of this to stone road as well. Where is the road here? It's here. Gotcha. So all of this can get upgraded to stone road. We don't need dirt roads like anywhere at this point. We have so much stone flowing in, it's basically free for us to upgrade these to stone road. So that'll be fine. We'll get that going. That will, of course, boost our prosperity in some minor ways. Not anything significant, for sure, but some minor ways. And yes, even these aqueduct roads we can upgrade. There's some of these roads that have swamp underneath them, which is, of course, not ideal. But we can do something like this. And just have it be like everything within the aqueducts and out over here should be upgraded, is an argument that we can definitely make. So for now, that is fairly completed. I'm not going to run it all the way out here. There's a lot of swamp out here, and that would be a big problem for us. So for now, that seems fine, but I am going to start upgrading all of these crossroads here as well. So I want to get this all the way down to here. There we go. And then this all the way down to here. We're going to have some chinampas over here still. So those can go in like that. There we go. And we'll just run the stone roads all the way down to here for now. If we need to expand our farms more, we always can. But for now, I just want to get these upgraded to stone roads, because we have plenty of stone, and we've got more coming in all the time. So that's not a concern at this moment. We'll get all of this upgraded, but then we'll also need to do all of these little bridges over here, like this. There. Something along the lines of that. And then we also want to run these roads here. Ooh, that brought us all the way out over here. That was exciting. Let's try that again. I don't think this area was being upgraded. It was. So that's good. This can be upgraded as well. Perfect. And then, of course, we can just run this stone road all the way down here. It really doesn't matter. So that seems fine. Everything is good to go there. So we'll let that upgrade happen. Everything seems fine. We can also upgrade our canals to stone canals, if we choose. But as of right now, I think we should probably hold off and let our stone supplies rebuild a little bit. So what do we got going on here? Education. Fair enough. Chinampas out over here do make some amount of sense to clean out some of this area. So we can work on that, and then we can maybe put in some education out this way. What about, like, here? Has everything it needs. Needs access to a sweeper. That is something we can definitely deal with. So a sweeper would go in right here. And then a well dipper. Sure, we can do that right there. And this one wants a well dipper as well. We can put in a second well dipper somewhere up over here. Oh, we missed this spot for Stone Road. Let's get that put in. There we go. Cool. So that all seems relatively fine for now. Now, what's our stone deficit at this moment? It's over 1,000. So I think we should probably chill on building additional stone stuff for a little bit here anyway. But I do want to get these canals upgraded to stone canals eventually. The question is just one of when, right? So our prosperity is at 64 out of 70. Our prestige is at 39 of 70. Our culture appears to be high enough, so there's that. Now, one thing we could think about doing is trying to get a cistern in here somewhere. How would we want to do that? That's an interesting question. We do have this cistern here, but this well dipper hasn't actually been upgraded, which is surprising. That is quite surprising. Why hasn't it upgraded? Improvements are underway. Need 5 stone. Fair enough. Okay, so we'll just let that happen. That will take a little bit. Seems good. Some of our health venues are overcrowded. I'm not terribly shocked about that one. So our prosperity is at 65 out of 70, and I'm wondering what is pulling us down at this point. I assume it's not anything out over here. More diversion, huh? You know, if we just connected up this road right here, this alcove would reach more areas. It is currently strained, but we could also put in... Do we have a sauna over here? This is a large estate. Here's a sauna. Why isn't this cistern full? Oh, it's because that aqueduct bridge needed to be upgraded. Okay. So this cistern is actually not reaching this sauna, because the sauna is connected here, and the cistern doesn't quite connect there. Do you think it would connect if we put in road here? Not quite. But we could put in a cistern up over here. Ah, this requires clearance. So we could put it up over here for now. This is a temporary move. And then we'd move it back over this way. Okay, so let's get that going. That's going to be some stone and some timber. But for now, that's okay. So we're just wanting to move this back this direction by like 1 tile. Is all we need to do here. And then we can put in another cistern right here, and that'll be a good thing to do. We can run our aqueduct this way, of course, and that'll be absolutely fine. So the aqueduct is going to end up being kind of like, well, not there. It's going to end up being there, and then it would come like that. So we can get that started. That's okay. What's our stone deficit right now? 200. Okay, so we're getting really, really close on getting all of this stone put in. That seems good. Down over this direction, we can think about putting in an education service. So about here. And then this stone road would connect back over here. And that'll reach this house. It'll reach this house. It'll reach this house. I don't know if it'll reach down over here, but for now, that'll do. Okay, so this is now moved, and we now want to move it back. That's going to be average symmetry there. So we're going to be losing out on the good symmetry, but it's okay. We'll get that moved back again. And then our cistern, of course, is going to go in right over here, like that. There we go. So we'll just put that in, and that will, of course, cost a fair amount of stone, but we're producing so much stone. This is not a concern. Our wood down over here is a little bit over-chopped. These guys are going to be idle because there aren't nearby trees. So that's noted. We do have a porter yard up over here. We could change this over to accepting, and then we can move 2 of these sawyers. One here, and then one, like, up over here. Like that. Okay, so we'll do that, and that should get these guys working a little bit more regularly, in theory. That seems relatively fine. And eventually we'll get these movements done. So that seems okay. Now the question is, are we reaching this sauna with this cistern? The answer is no, we are not. And that is sad. That is very, very sad. Now I'm going to take out these gardens right up over here, and we're going to replace them. So we're going to replace them up over here. So that's going to be 25, 29, and then that's 30. I just want to put a sauna up over this way. So right there. Wait a second. We've got one right here. We need timber to operate smoothly up here, and that kind of means a porter yard up over this way, actually. So that works fine. We can definitely put a timber, or rather a porter yard here, and we'll just do something kind of like that. I was hoping that this cistern would reach this sauna. Both of these are so close. I'm wondering if maybe we should switch positions with this. So if we did that, we would move this guy to be temporarily up over here. And we'll move it back. But we're going to need to move this cistern, and this porter yard is going to be slightly in the way too, isn't it? Because we're going to need a little bit of additional aqueduct going this way. That is going to be problematic. Yeah, cancel this. So that's not going to work. What else could we do? We could swap his position with the porter yard. Actually. That's a much better position. I like that a lot more. It should still be able to reach this basin with no concern there. This basin should still be reached. And I don't think there's anywhere else out this way that it really, really needs to reach. So I think this is perfect. Let's get going on that. So we'll take this out. There we go. And now what we need to do is we need to move this cistern. Apparently we can't move a cistern. Okay. We'll just build a new one right here. And the aqueduct will go in like this. And then we'll remove this cistern like that. So that's functionally moving the cistern, but it's fine. Okay, so this cistern is now built. We need this one gone. We need to get this aqueduct built. And now we need to move this this porter yard back. Okay, there we go. Now this steam bath is upgraded. That's what I wanted to see. Perfect. So our prosperity is currently at 66 out of 70. Our prestige is at 41 out of 50. We're getting there. We're getting very, very close. So that seems good. What else do we need at this point? Well, crowding in homes is becoming a problem, but I don't actually care. That's completely and totally okay. I think at this point, I kind of want to upgrade to stone canals. So I'm going to upgrade down over here first, although I'm noticing that we're not actually connected over here anymore. So I'm just going to upgrade kind of like this. This is needing to not be upgraded, though. There we go. So removing these canals, and we still have some feed somewhere. It must be adjacent to a swamp tile at some point, I guess. But we need to get these stone canals built up. Now this one, I don't know if we can actually reach. There might be a stone canal there that is unreachable. If that's the case, we can move this guy, and we may want to get started on that. I'm going to move it down over here. That's going to be mission number 1. We just want to move it this way one tile. That's all we want to do. But we have to move it twice in order to do that because it can't self-intersect, which is very, very sad. Okay, so it has been built here, and it now needs to be removed over here. Eventually it'll happen. There we go. So now what we need to do is move it here. And then we need to move the mason yard. And that's just going to be a little bit. I suppose we could move it now. We can't quite put it there. Okay, now we can put it over here. That'll do. So we'll get that going, and that will be absolutely fine. Now, I do want to get more of these stone canals queued up, but we need to, unfortunately, skip the areas where there are bridges, because those are already stone canals. So then this set of stone canals is going to go all the way down to here, and then we're going to have this come out all the way to here, and then go up to here. And then we just need to start putting in stone canals, something like this. That will improve the aesthetics of this region, and actually, this should be a stone road going over like that. That'll improve the aesthetics of this region, and that'll be wonderful. So we need to take this in, but we did need some stone road connections here, here, and here. And I'm going to do one here too. We apparently missed upgrading this chunk to stone road, so let's just go ahead and do that. And then we need to get all of these over to Stone Canal, and that will take a little bit of time. But that's completely fine. At this point, we're just trying to ramp up our prestige and prosperity numbers, and this is a good way to do that. Or at least, a way to do that. Okay, so there we go. We'll get that done, and then we'll just need to do each of these. And we may lose out on some irrigation momentarily. That's okay if that ends up happening. Okay. And this should theoretically be self-feeding, because when we remove the canal, it becomes swamp, right? So that should be fine. Okay, let's bring this guy up to here. Let's change this one as well. And next up would be this set of canals. So we'll just need to do something kind of like this. I personally prefer the look of the standard canals with the trees lining them. I think that looks better than the stone canals, but the game does not agree, so in go the stone canals. Besides, the stone canals will prevent flooding like this, so it's okay. Okay, so all of this needs to go in here. There we go. And then this one. This is, of course, going to be quite a lot of stone, and it looks like we missed a stone walkway right here. Maybe. Oh, that's swamp. That's a swamp tile. So that needs to be removed and chanampa'd. Let's get that going as soon as possible. While that's being worked on, we'll put in the stone canals down through here. And we're almost done getting these upgraded. Getting very, very close. Okay, have we finished the Chinampa down over here yet? No. Not even close. Cool. So we'll just check that after we finish each of these canal paths, I think. No, don't do that. This was fine the way it was. Okay. Again, this was fine the way it was. Perfect. So now we'll just come on down here and get these done. Excellent. So that is just about being done with all of the canals here. Very, very close. Cool. And yeah, you can see we're definitely dry in some of these areas until we get the canals finished. And that's absolutely understood. So this Chinampa is going to be done very shortly. We'll get our stone road in right here. There we go. And that should definitely have a connection there. Cool. Otherwise, that looks reasonably good. Let's get that underway. So what's our current stone deficit? Not very high, actually. It's about 800 stone. Cool. So our prosperity is down to 65. A big part of that is that our axe monies are not very positive. We're kind of neutral on our axe monies. And we'd also like to see some additional upgrades up over here. Closer to their place of work. I mean, yeah. But for the moment, it's not that concerning. I'm much more concerned about getting our prestige up than I am about getting our prosperity up, to be honest. We only need 7 more prestige points, though. And getting more might would not be a bad thing. So if we look at our barracks right now, we can see that's actually fine. If we look at our fortress, this is fine as well. And if we look at this barracks, it's fine too. I wouldn't mind putting in another fortress, though, out over this way. So let's do exactly that. Let's put a fortress here. And that should be reachable by this porter stop to be able, and this granary, to be able to give it everything it needs. So that'll be fine. And that'll boost up our might score some amount. We'll see how much prestige we get out of that. Prosperity, of course, we need to bring up, but I'm not too concerned about that. We can just start mass exporting stuff, and it'll be okay. For the moment, everything seems to be going pretty fine. We're definitely getting these canals set up in a fairly expeditious manner. That's going very quick. So if we check in on the stone deficit at this point, 600 stone. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. These areas out over here, this can probably all be Chinampa'd now with the stone, right? Actually, no. The stone canals apparently aren't reaching here. I thought they would. Stone canals can irrigate up to 4 tiles, right? Yeah, out to 4 tiles. I'm surprised that we can't Chinampa this. Huh. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I am surprised by that. Or within 3 tiles of a canal. But they're stone canals. I guess that doesn't count for Chinampas. I guess it's only irrigation. Interesting. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really change anything that we've got going on here. So this is absolutely fine for the moment. As of right now, how are we feeling about our prosperity? Well, our prosperity is dipping a little bit, and this is probably because we are heavily utilizing our stone, right? I wouldn't mind doing another export, though, and I think that's probably an important thing to do. So maize, timber, cotton, pulque. Okay. We could maybe do some pulque exports. Furniture. 80 furniture. Interesting. I'm definitely leaning towards doing that furniture export. So that would be out over this direction. I would want to put in a trading post right here. We have our furnishers right there. So that should be fine. And this trading post is importing Amate. Yeah, that's okay. I wanted to go to... Which one was that? I didn't even remember. Not here? Here. And they could accept up to 80 furniture. So we'll get that going, and we'll get some additional exports flowing there. So that should very, very easily get our funds up to quite positive and boost our prosperity up in theory. But why is our prosperity dropping? Destitution. So this means that we're lacking jobs. So we have this porter yard here. I'm going to have this be getting obsidian. And we're going to be accepting furniture. I'm going to add in some jobs up over here. Furniture production. So we're going to have 4 furnishers like that. That'll be some jobs up on this side. And hopefully that'll get these guys up. That'll get these guys upgraded and get us more furniture to export. So that'll be fine. Eventually we'll get these constructed. I'm a little surprised we haven't started placing these furnishers, actually. That's kind of wild. There, we're starting to place them. Took a long time to get up there. I mean, it just said long trip times for workers are a problem. That's not necessarily wrong. That is definitely not wrong. So if we look at our, say, might here, our might is pretty good. If we looked at our culture could use a little bit more work. We're only just above what we need. So that's definitely something we could think about. More diversion up over here is not a bad idea. So to that end, how would we want to do this? Well, a plaza up over here, if we could fit one. We could theoretically fit one out here. Could we find an area with good symmetry out here? Average symmetry. There's some average symmetry here. Good symmetry. I don't suppose there's any strong over here. No, just good. That's fine. That's good enough. So we're just going to do that, and then I'm going to run a stone road like this, and we'll connect it in like that. So that plaza will be reachable out in this area, and that'll be absolutely fine. Of course, we're going to need some clay and timber up over here. Not a big concern. But we'll get some jobs up here. That's fine. And this wants a shrine to Tezcatlipoca and a house of song. So we can do both of those for sure. A house of song can go basically anywhere. It doesn't really matter. I'll just put it here. And then a shrine to Tezcatlipoca. Let's see what we've got for symmetry. Strong symmetry. Consider it done. So that should boost our culture up in this region and deal with the diversion issues. This home needs access to a barracks. So we could put in a barracks up over here too. We could put one right there and have our stone road be something kind of like this. Of course, we're going to want a granary up here, and we're going to want a porter stop to feed it. So that's absolutely fine. Porter stop goes here, granary goes here. And then we can continue this stone road up to here and have it cross over kind of like that. This granary is going to be maize fruit chili, and we're going to need to be getting all of those. And of course, this porter stop is going to be weapons and armor. We're going to be getting both of those. Perfect. It is past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we might just finish this up. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.